Hi everyone, Angus Campbell here. It's, where are we? Wednesday, the 28th of May, 2025. Certainly Wednesday anyway. Right, come on, let's get on with it. Right, the Fury SS. Quick recap. This was running and we noticed a few jobs to be done after the first 2 or 3 test runs in the garage. Firstly, that there was an oil link from that joint there, the cam chain tunnel, and also from the where the oil is fed into the oil feed pipe up to the head, right from down there. There it is, that union nut down there. And also we just wanted to check the timing. Now, this and other sort of bits and pieces of oil weeping here, there, etc. And then subsequent to that, because we were running this on a borrowed auto advance unit from kindly loaned by Tony Page off his Bandit, I actually asked Bob Rogerson to make me up a couple of pattern auto advance units, and we've never timed this up really properly or run it since, and that included at Founders Day last year when the bike was there, and I thought I'd timed it up and it was trying to fire but wouldn't pick up, so it wasn't quite right. So it's about time we got back onto this. Now the bike's actually managed to get itself on the bench. Remember, you know, for the last couple of years then the Bonvilles, the Silver Jubilee Bonville was on the bench, and so that was hampering things a little, but that's now safely with Greg in New Zealand. It arrived there about 10 days or so ago, and Greg's now taken delivery of that. Right, so what I've done in prep, as you can see, is firstly it sumped all its oil, so we've drained the sump out. So I've got the sump plate to put back, but I damaged one of the gaskets slightly getting it off, but I've got gaskets, so we'll put a new gasket on that, put the oil back in the tank. As you can see, I've got the battery having a bit of a refresh charge at the moment. I have been refreshing it regularly, as it is quite a big expensive battery. It's really a T160 battery, but we'll need that oomph for the electric start. So I know the battery's okay, but we'll just give that a nice refresher. And then once we've got the oil back in, then we'll take the ignition points cover off. We'll take the timing plug out, which is there for a timing plug in the crankcase, one of the crankcase webs, and then we can time it up properly. We'll also take the cover off the off the alternator side as well, because I have marked up the alternator for a static time. And also we'll take the plugs out as well to make sure we're on the right stroke. I'm sure all that's fine. We just need to fine tune what we've done. And the other thing is to make sure that the points back plate is central in this cavity, because when this was machined up, we found that the exhaust cam wasn't quite central with this circular cavity for the points. So a shim has been made up to centralise it. We need to make sure that shim's in the right position as well, so that both points open equally. So there we are. So first thing I'll do is off camera, we'll get the sump plate back on and get the oil in the tank, get the covers off, basically get ourselves prepared. Oh, the other thing I want to check as well is just make sure that the oil pump is still rotating, and we can do that easily by taking off the tacho cable, because that's run off off a spindle that's on the worm drive, driven by the worm drive for the pump, and then we'll all be good. But obviously once we've got everything back together, we can make sure the oil is circulating. We're getting pressure by just spinning it over on the starter motor in short bursts with the plugs out, and we'll be okay then. Right, I'll get you prepped and I'll bring you back. Right, the battery's fully charged according to the charger. The sump plate with its filter and correct gaskets is now on. Can I show you that? Underneath there, there it is. So as usual practice, it's the sump plate, a gasket, then the gauze filter plate and a gasket. So that's all good. Luckily I've got gaskets in stock. Now I've just taken off the cover for the rotor, and there's still oil coming out of this. Now the primary drive on this, the oil level is maintained by the oil that's splashed around and fed to the crank and crankcase. But even so, that seems a little high, really, to be honest. I mean, obviously when this sumps oil in its crankcase, then it's going to fill up the primary case as well because of that. So I'm not sure whether this maybe should have a bit of a drain or level hole a bit lower down than what it's got. Anyway, here we are again, yet more oil coming out with nothing to really catch it. So we'll let that drain a bit. Try and contain it. My usual catch tray is being used on the other side to fill the bike with its oil again. Anyway, we'll crack on. So I'll get this cover open now. We'll take the plugs out, and we'll take the tacho cable off, and then we can do a quick test spin. There you go. Right, we know that the oil pump worm drive is turning, so that's good. That was just a quick check. Just turning off the ignition. I've just got to, oh yeah, there we go. Right, so yeah, cover off, points cover off, plugs out. Just got to take the plug out now for, sorry, the blanking plug for the timing plug on the crankcase web, which is over here, which I believe is certainly bigger than 5/8. Now, a little worryingly, having poured most of the oil back into the oil tank, there is a little bit of white metal in the bottom of this. You maybe see, there we are, a little bit of it there. Hey ho. Well, it's hardly blooming run, and it is going to take a bit of settling in, and it's, you know, it's not exactly a blueprinted motor, so stuff's going to take a bit of bedding in, and certain things do run in aluminium, like the cams, etc. Anyway, not do anything about that now. Let's just get it running and we'll make a further assessment from there. Right, I found the problem, I think. So I've got the rotor. Now, obviously the rotor on this is not the one for the Fury. They didn't exist. So this is a standard Lucas rotor off obviously another bike where the timing marks are different. However, I created a timing mark, which is that little nick there. So if you look at it, it lines up there, which is correct. And also, you'll just have to take my word for it on this, but I've also had the locating plunger in here, so I know the crank's in the right position as well. And that's for the left-hand cylinder, where I've also checked at the top there that the piston is coming towards TDC. That left hand should be firing. Left hand is black and white, which is this set of points, and those points, well, you might not be able to see that, but they are open, so it's way advanced because it is just coming up. The heel is on the ramp on the cam. Sorry, it's not very clear and a bit fuzzy, but this rotates in the opposite direction to the crank because obviously it's run off a pinion gear, so we need to retard this so these points are just opening. So that means moving the points back plate anti-clock. Right, let's see if we can do that to get a reasonable position on the points. Make sure that everything's centralized. So there's a bit of twiddling to do. Right, as always, this is driving me to drink. Right, what's confusing the issue, for me at any rate, is that I've got my wiring colours the wrong way around on the points. So it's very easy then to confuse right with left. Because, I know it's not difficult, is it? There's only 2 cylinders. Because we've got lots of information in the handbook about static timing. And the reason why it's a little more difficult, and you've got to make sure it's the right way around, is because you've got to do the left-hand cylinder first, which should be this set of points. That's correct. The left-hand cylinder is the right-hand side set of points, which is on the master back plate. And once you've set that, you then set the right-hand cylinder with the left-hand set of points, which has a slave back plate, which means you can independently move this. And I'm doing it the wrong way round. And also, I've got black and white to the left, which is the right cylinder points, and yellow and black to the right, which is the left, should be the left cylinder, and those colours are the wrong way around against the handbook, which is why I'm getting confused, I think. The other thing is, now have I got a pointer somewhere? On the Auto Advanced unit, I've got a feeling this indeed is that the cam is 180 degrees out on its back plate, because at the moment I've got the right hand cylinder on its firing stroke at its firing position for static. Now remember, I've got these the wrong way around, but the high point on the cam, which should just be approaching one of the heels of the points, is over here, I believe. Let me just get a torch on it, even brighter torch. There's 3 lights on here at the moment. Let's have a look. Yeah. So don't know whether you can see this because I haven't got three hands, but at about, difficult to see, but at about, oh, you can just about see it there on the end of the cam. At about 2 o'clock, there's a little punch dot, and that's where the ramp is, I think, and it's the wrong side. It should be, so it's up there, and it should be down here. So I think that's 180 out as well. So I'm beginning to get my head around this now, and that's why, you know, we didn't stand a bloody chance. Now, why has that changed? Because the Auto Advance backplate has got a slot in it, so it's pegged on the cam, so it's not on a taper like on most British bikes. So you know, it's not got an infinitesimal amount of adjustment. But these have been apart when this pattern was made up, and I think the original has accidentally been put back the wrong way around too when I did a comparison the last time I was timing this up. So there's all sorts, there's 2 or 3 factors here at play which is complicating the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is, in conjunction with checking out which way around the wires are on the coils under the seat, I'm going to change the colours around here. I'm going to make sure that the left hand coil is for the left hand cylinder, which is for the right hand set of points, and should be black and white, i.e. this wire, and change the others around. So then we'll be in sync with the handbook, and then we'll be in sync with using the timing plunger on the crank to set the left hand cylinder first. Because at the moment I can do that, but I'm using the wrong set of points. And so using the one with the adjustable, you know, slave backplate first is wrong. You've got to do the main backplate first. Okie dokie. Right, let me get the wiring sorted out as a starter for 10, and then we'll take it from there. Right, so partial success. Firstly, the way that it's currently wired up is correct in that the left hand points are for the right hand cylinder, right hand points for the left hand cylinder. It's just that I've got the colours the wrong way around, and although I can change them down here, it would mean that because of the way that the wires are soldered onto these special clips that hook onto the springs, it would mean that the soldered ends would foul the points, so I'm not going to do that. In addition, at the other end under the seat, the wires aren't long enough for me to be able to swap them over on the coils. So, not that I need to do that, but it would just mean then, you know, left is left and right is right on the coil side. But now, as it's wired, the right-hand coil is for the left-hand cylinder, and the right-hand set of points is for the left-hand cylinder, so maybe that's consistent. Right, so that's that done, or sorted anyway, so we're okay there. So now, all we've got to do, sorry if the camera's a little bit fuzzy, is I can take the cam off its back plate and bob weights by removing the springs from the posts here, I think, and then we can leave the back plate in position, which is preferable. So let's see if we can do that with a bit of dexterity. Right, success. That's the Auto Advance cam turned around 180 degrees. So you can now see it's just about just there on the end of the cam. There it is. There's a small dot denoting the ramp, and that's now beginning to get close to the heel of the points. So we've just got to adjust it now, because at the moment, yes, we're on the left hand set of points, which is the right hand cylinder, which is the wrong way around, but just to get an accurate view, so, well, rough view that's in the correct position. So what I'm going to do now is rotate this so that the highest point of the cam is on the heel of the point, so we can set the points to the correct gap now. And we've got to do that first. Right, I think we're there. So I've buttoned up the alternator stroke rotor cover. I've put the timing plug back in. Left the points cover off for now. I've got the left hand plug in, and that arcs beautifully. But the right hand one doesn't unless I arc the point. So let me just have another go with that. Right, I think we've got it. I've just re-gapped the left hand points for the right hand cylinder, and I don't know whether that was very regular or not, but anyway, we're going to put the plugs in, and we're just going to see if it'll give us a bit of a fire, so we know we're on the right track. Might need a bit of fine tuning yet, because as you can tell, it's all a bit complicated, but let's put the plugs in, just see if it will. Why not? She's firing. That was with no throttle, obviously. Holding a bit of throttle on. Okay, ignition off. She's going to run. Right, I'm going to leave it there because I want to do some more check rounds first. But do you know what? I'm going to have a drink. She's firing again. So, chuffed with that, but as always, a bit of a challenge. You've probably seen enough of these bloody points, and I have too. So I'm going to put the cover on now, and then come back in the morning, as it's getting a bit late this evening, and I need a cup of tea, and we'll come back in the morning. Primer up. Let's get the fuel off, and give her a little run once I've done a few more checks around, making sure we've got oil flowing around, etc. But anyway, sounded crisp. Yahoo! Right, as you saw, put a drop of oil on the auto advance unit and on the felts on the points back plate, and done a bit of a tidy up. That looks a lot better. I put those 2 sheets of kitchen roll down just in case we've got a bit of oil seepage anywhere, and I can try and identify it. But yeah, I think we're all ready to go then for another test. What I want to do first is it needs properly timing again more accurately. I've done it a little bit rough and ready, but I just wanted to prove that the auto advance unit was in roughly the correct position. Sorry, from the point of view of the cam being on the right side of 180 degrees on the auto advance backplate. I'll get it right in a minute, and we've proven that. Just want to give it another quick run to check we've got oil pressure and also that the oil is returning. Obviously most important in any engine, but more so in this probably. Right, we've got oil pressure. Let's see if I can keep it going on the other side now. Oh God, hang on a minute. Yep, oil's returning. Okay. Ignition off. Good. It sounds as flat as a pancake, I know, and that's because it is. So we need to time it up properly now, but you know, I just wanted to check some fundamentals and just do a little tiny short stab. You can tell the carbs need setting up on throttle stops as well, because we're nowhere near a tick over either. Well, I'm pleased with that. We're on the right track. We're just about there. She's running again. Everything seems to be okay. No oil has I was going to say peed out, but a bit more crudely than that. Poured, I suppose, is appropriate for a British bike. No oil's pouring out just yet, so yeah, looking positive. Right. Of course, what that now means, we'll have to run it regularly to make sure it doesn't sump all its oil. But that's fine, it's quite a bit of a motivator that. I have to do it with the other bikes. So seat down for now. What I can check as well, actually, just to see, I mean, obviously the battery's in a pretty good state because it's whipping it over. Flasher. Horn works, a bit feeble. Okay. Let's just check some of the other things while we're here. About indicators. Got left. There we go. Yep. Side lights work too, if you put them on park. Clock lights are working. I didn't check to see if the tacho was working, but it was years ago when we last ran it. Okay. I think that'll do us, guys. Thanks very much for watching. As I say, next time we'll do a little bit of tuning up, fine tuning now, which will do it the world of good too, and then we can hopefully give it a bit of a longer run and maybe a try out through the gearbox, etc., which should be fun. But in the meantime, it's coming off the bench and a Triumph Trident's coming on there shortly, and I'm going to start posting the background videos to that bike in the next couple of days, and there's a series of them. Alright guys, again, thanks for watching, thanks for your interest. Any comments and subscriptions, see you all again soon. Cheers.